working it.
Why are you working it?
My
It should be a done
ex-wife,
deal.
my ex-wife was gonna come up here today. Who's a hot Asian?
No, she's not.
Savage Actual, Audio 4, Scene 2, Take. I guess this is Take 1. I bet standby.
He's like, there's a 1 on the back of that. I saw it.
You want a sound check? Murder all melons on Monday.
That's it. All right.
Murder
let's
melons
go,
on Monday. What are you doing? Are you on with anybody?
No.
Savage
for me.
Actual. Yeah, that's what I tell every chick that sends me news.
No, this recording.
It's just me. I
Then
promise.
it's to all your
It's a private
boys.
stuff.
That's it.
Yeah.
So once fucking Scooby-Doo puts his fucking phone down.
Coming from the guy whose phone vibrated mid fucking shot. Again.
Okay. Welcome to Savage Actual. Thanks for coming out and watching. Today we're going to do another episode of our interview series. Today we are with Yusuf Badu. Today's episode, we're going to be talking to Yusuf, who's got an incredible career behind him, and I think an incredible career ahead of him. I don't want to be like his best years are behind him.
Don't jinx me. I didn't peak. Okay.
So Yusuf, tell Savage Actual what you do, what your specialty is, and we'll get into this.
Yeah, sure. So I actually know both these guys.
Which is crazy.
From history, yeah, small world.
Yeah,
And
small world.
I was in the United States Marine Corps. I was in the infantry. I'm not like soft guys like these secret squirrels here, but I did my time for a country. Did a lot of tours over there. And I actually speak Arabic, so that kind of gave me a little bit of an interesting angle on wartime, being an infantryman and having war. And now I run a business basically teaching situational awareness skills, all the stuff that, was those lessons we learned during war that were written in blood, that people paid for. I teach those to, churches, synagogues, communities, all the people that really need it, because a lot of people are walking around with zero situational awareness and they don't realize there's actually a curriculum you can learn. There's someone that can show you so you don't have to go through this crazy violent event and then understand situational awareness.
Yep. You don't want to be that freaking QB and yourself after the fact of a really bad situation. It's like how I could have avoided that. So let's get into.
So we're gonna start from the beginning.
Yeah.
Where'd you grow up?
Yeah, sure. So let's go way back. So
the Wayback Machine.
Like many men, I was born. Okay, and I was born in Kuwait. And my mom's American, my dad's Kuwaiti. So I kind of came out of the womb a Kuwaiti and American at the same time. Everyone always asks me, like, are you naturalized? I'm like, oh yeah, I just got my green card. And they're like, oh, your accent is gone. I'm like, I know, I work really hard.
Watch a lot of YouTube.
Yeah, a lot of YouTube, yeah. On TikTok. So I grew up there and I was there for the invasion,
91.
91.
Yeah, Iraq into Kuwait.
Yeah.
Desert War, we got to make that distinction
Desert Storm.
nowadays. Yeah, not that invasion, the other invasion. So I was there as a kid, during the Iraqis, and because we were American, we actually got smuggled out by Canadians and then had to fly into Baghdad airport. That was part of the thing.
Oh, you guys went from Kuwait to Baghdad?
To Baghdad. Part of it, the Saddam and all the people said, look, they didn't want to mess with anybody else. They didn't want to mess with the international community. They were just trying to roll over Kuwait. So they're like, if you are not a Kuwaiti, go ahead, you can leave, but you got to fly into Baghdad.
Whoa.
Yeah. So
That's intense.
So we fly into
remember
Baghdad.
this?
Yeah, I remember bits of it. Bits of it.
Right.
So
You were 6,
7 years old. I was happier than a pig in shit. I was a kid. I thought it was all cool. When the Iraqi tanks rolled in, I remember being on my dad's shoulders and we're watching the tanks roll in on the highway, like T-72s and shit.
T-55s.
Yeah, whatever they are. And that was my kind of conditioning for life.
It's trippy.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. So that's what started, and then to fast forward, lived in Kuwait after the invasion, moved to the States in high school, and I always knew I was going to be in the military, and then I actually joined the military academy, and that's where it would I really solidified the Marine Corps, and that's what.
Where'd you fly into first? And what state did you go to? Coming
From
Kuwait?
Baghdad. We're like a direct flight
It was
from
a- it was a
Baghdad
lot-
into Atlanta.
I tell people it's a lot like coming to America. I'm like, hello, So my mom's side of the family is from Michigan originally, so I still have my family, my side of the family.
So, I apologize.
No, go
So
ahead.
your mom was American or your dad was American?
My mom was American.
Your mom was American and your dad was Kuwaiti.
Mhm.
And so you guys, so you guys eventually made your way into Michigan.
So I'm guessing Baghdad to DC to Michigan.
Oh, yeah, specifically,
Where did you end up?
Yeah, we ended up in Michigan. Yeah.
And that was your
With the
home.
family,
Got
yeah.
it, got it. Okay.
For a year. I went to first grade out there while the American forces went and, whooped some ass.
Waylaid
waylaid the
the
Iraqis.
Iraqis.
So how was that being, pretty much Kuwaiti, man. Like, how did you speak English already?
Yeah.
From mom?
Yep. So
Wow, that's a huge up.
in my household, I'd talk to my mom in English, and she would respond to me in English. My dad would answer in Arabic. I'd respond to him in Arabic back, and we'd have this
Awesome.
and people would come to my house and go, "What the fuck is going on?" And I'm like,
Wow.
Yeah.
Did your dad speak English?
Yeah, well,
Yeah, this is just, I'm so glad that they let you foster, because a lot of immigrants come here and they want to assimilate so bad that they let go of their previous culture, which I think is a disservice.
Right.
So you being able to speak Arabic is fucking clutch, dude. I'm jealous. Honestly.
Yeah, dude, and I went through 6 months of Arabic training through a
right.
Palestinian teacher, went through immersion, and my Arabic.
Don't use it, lose it.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
it's horrible. I mean, it's been, God, 10 years, and I got maybe I like the absolute basic.
Yeah.
It's
like Latin, man. Like you look at Latin, or I'm sorry, like most of our language, even if Cyrillic or English, or whatever, it's Latin based. But you go into a language like Chinese or Japanese or Arabic, non-Latin based, we have no connection. There's no letter, there's no sound.
Yep.
It's a whole nother ballgame. So to rewire your brain completely from language is tough. I landed on, so when the military sends their people to be interpreters, they send them to DLI, Defense Language Institute.
Yep.
And I remember working with a captain there, this blonde guy. He'd been at DLI learning Arabic for a year. That's all you did, TAD. And he lands in Kuwait and he goes, "I got this, bro."
Is it Monterey?
Yeah, Monterey,
Yep,
Monterey, yep.
California. Yeah.
And he's like, I'm gonna talk to this guy. I'm like, all right, go ahead. And, he starts talking to him in the proper spoken Arabic.
And what is that? It's like something Egypt standard or normal.
That's another thing. So there's
See-
MS Arabic. That's the Queen's Arabic. No one speaks that.
Yeah,
in
and that's
Iraq.
the shit some
So
of that I
basically,
was teaching.
it's almost
get
just like
taught.
you know how Englishmen, UK,
Modern
UK
Standard Egypt or
speak
whatever it was.
very
yeah.
proper, very intelligently full words.
Yep.
I've noticed this. Americans are like very
choppy,
choppy,
yeah.
like broish. So is that the difference?
Absolutely.
Like to compare
Absolutely. You use that proper Arabic for like newscasting, official things about
interviews.
Yeah, when people talk in the
Jobs, yeah.
street. Yeah, when people talk in
It's
the
not the
street.
common
Yeah.
knowledge.
So this guy goes up and he starts spitting this Queen's Arabic, and this Iraqi's like, "What the hell's he saying?" I'm like, "I'm not sure, bro." So I ended up talking to him, and this guy spent a year there, and he was telling me, he's like, I don't even know what he was saying. It's
That's
like, well,
crazy.
we're in Haseba, so they do this kind of twang, so it's just one of those things.
Yeah, it's like going from New York.
Yeah,
and
it's
going
much-
to
much like
Louisiana.
here.
and
Exactly.
Like, yeah.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah,
It's a
because I can
twang.
remember I'm from upstate New York. I
There's a difference.
grew up there, and I was after I got the Marine Corps the first time. I was living in Southwest Virginia, going to college, and I'm in an English course, and this is funny as hell. We were doing some writing whatever, and I remember saying to the class, I'm like, "Yeah, I don't have any kind of accent." Everyone started laughing.
Really?
Yeah, I'm in a class in Southwest Virginia, and they have a little bit more of like a southern accent,
they do.
slightly, not a whole lot, but everyone started laughing. I'm like, "What?" They're like, "You have an accent."
I don't hear it on you.
Thank you, I know.
I don't.
But-
Does upstate New York have an accent?
Yeah, I think
But
so. It's
it's
unique.
different from just that difference
There's little
from
words.
right,
Like
absolutely.
water, like there's like Pennsyltucky, man. Like,
And they had
a lot of
phrases
the Northeast
that I
like
never
water,
said.
like water,
Water.
and like little
Yep.
crick and creek, like
A
little.
holler. You know what a
Yup,
holler
yeah,
is?
that was a big thing
Yeah,
in
what the
Southwest
hell's a
Virginia.
holler,
A
man?
holler.
Yeah.
Like I was like, "What in the fuck is a
Like
holler?"
the trees.
Yeah.
The
Yup,
fields,
it was
yeah.
some of it maybe wasn't how I was saying it was the phraseology, some of the phrases that they used, and
Right.
I'm sure.
So check this out. So you guys are gonna kill me. I don't even know why I tell this story because between you two, you're never gonna shut up about it. So I was pretty much almost sexually assaulted by the biggest Iraqi I've ever seen in my life. So everyone
this
wants
is-
war
this is
stories
where
and
you
like
get
slain
this out
bodies.
on the
Yeah, I know.
couch
Let's
right
go.
here.
Were you a Marine at this point?
Yeah. This is on a fob, bro. This is Al Qaim. We're in country.
Yeah.
I'm exaggerating a little bit, but you'll see what I mean. I'm in the fob, man. So like if you're in the fob, that's secure. You're behind
Yeah,
the
yeah.
wire. It's shower time. You take your rifle.
FOB is forward operating base. They're like little mini American states that are like
Yeah.
fucking 400 meters to whatever.
full of
fucking
hate.
Two
and caffeine.
kilometers square.
Yeah.
It's a little defensive position with guard towers, machine guns, people protecting it, and the inside is where the Americans live.
Yeah.
So the military, excuse me.
Yeah. So I'm going to the shower trailers. I got my rifle. We take our rifles with us everywhere. And I get in the shower trailer, my little flip flops, my little silkies, and take my shower and I get done.
Sweet ass.
Yeah, right? Hey, gotta flaunt it if you can. And I'm walking out, and there's these Iraqis we work with, they're border patrol, but they invite them onto the fob once in a while. And I knew this guy. And dude was the biggest Iraqi ever, about 6'6", huge, about 300 pounds, big boy. And I see, and to see him on the fob wasn't a big deal. So I'm coming out of the shower trailer, and he's coming in the shower trailer, and he does like that movie scene where he like puts his arm up against the door sill and puts his other arm, and I'm like, and he's like, hey, what's up, man? What's going on? I'm like, hey, what's up, man? Nice to see you. And he's still blocking away. In Arabic, he's telling me, he's like, hey, bro, I just want you to know you're a damn flower. In my eyes, like you're the most beautiful flower I've ever seen.
He's like, first I'm gonna get into flirting.
Yeah, and he's easing it, and
Under
he's
the
telling
towel,
me, yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna go there, but the guy knew what he was doing. This was a script, you know.
Did it work? That's the question.
We're getting there. And so I'm sitting here, I'm like, I'm gonna butt stroke this dude.
Now,
I'm
did
gonna
you
have to
when
fight
he
for
said
my
that?
life.
What was your first thought?
I was
He
blank.
like, flower.
Denial.
Just didn't understand.
Denial.
Yeah.
Denial, this isn't happening.
And then
is
I
this
thought,
happening?
and I'm like, dude, this guy wants to do something, and I'm like, I don't think I can fight this dude. I'm gonna have to fucking kill this guy, you know. And then I remember I just snuck under his arm. I'm super uncomfortable. I'm like, okay, cool, and I ran away. And basically, and we had Terps. I'd hang out with them once in a while, the Iraqi Terps, and I went to their hooch. I'm like, yo, hey, y'all gotta watch out for this dude, man. Like, let me tell you what happened. I explain it. They all just start dying laughing.
Like
they're
they
like,
know?
yeah, they're like, you dumbass. They're like, he's from Saba, right? I'm like, yeah, how'd you guys, because this group came from there. And he was like, man, that's what they use. That's like he's a good dude or a good fellow. That's like a saying for them.
A flower?
So, I'm thinking he's trying to get up in my britches, and he's just telling me like, you're a good dude, man. Like, hey, you're awesome, you know.
You took it as sexual.
As sexual,
And he was just
and-
being cool.
Well, I don't know
Yeah.
when the dude's half dressed and he's like leaning into
I
you.
don't know.
You're like,
I don't
yeah.
know. It was pretty. I don't know. Maybe I misconstrued that one, but that was that was a
It
very
had a double meaning, man.
Yeah.
But that's
You're a good
that's
dude.
the
all
thing
the
with
things in
languages.
war. All the things in war. That situation scared the shit out of me.
But that's the thing with languages too, man. It's so crazy. Like when my first stop after all my Arabic was in Morocco, and me and my buddies, we were the other guy that I was going through the course with, we were kind of acting as our interpreters because our task force didn't get Arabic interpreters. So we're talking, and these chicks that we happen to run into in Morocco are like, oh, we know you have Palestinian girlfriends. We know you have Palestinian girlfriends. And me and my buddy are like, what? What are you talking about? Palestinian girlfriends? How? Where do they get?
Oh, because they were like white and blonde hair, blue eyes.
No, we ended up figuring out. Him and I, like later on, our instructor for Arabic this entire time, this woman was Palestinian.
Oh.
So we picked
up
up
that accent.
her Palestinian accent.
No way.
After 6+ months of
makes sense.
training,
Yeah.
I was just speaking Arabic. We're speaking with her Palestinian, and the girls thought that we had Palestinian girlfriend. That's where we learned Arabic.
Hey, dude, you remember back in the day, like the embassy got taken in Iran, like
Yeah.
all that? I don't know why I just thought of this, but I read the book on that. So they had the Marine security guard, that they got taken hostage too, and they kept him for a year. And this guy had a debrief. He was talking to, he was a State Department guy. He didn't know who was alive. He didn't know who was dead or alive. They locked him in the room. And he goes, and this is the day I realized that the Marines were still alive, because the Iranian captors came in and they're like, hey, we need to ask you some questions. What do these words mean? And he's like, all right, go ahead. And they're like, what does shithead mean? What does raghead mean? What does camel jockey mean? And he's like, and that's the day I knew the Marines were still alive. And they're
awesome.
good to go.
That's about right.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Because that only comes from the Marine Corps. So.
All right, so Michigan, you're in high school. Like, how is? Well, let's even take it back further. You're in first grade, man.
You're in kindergarten. Who signed you up for your classes?
6-7 years of living in a different country. It's a short time, I know, but it's the first 6-7 years of your life. All you know is what you know.
Yep.
You come here. I'm pretty sure you were very excited. I'm going to America, land of movies,
sure.
land of fucking music,
And
whatever.
I'm sure your mom talked to you about all that stuff.
And it was all great till I landed in Michigan Winters. And I was like,
Where'd you
this
end up
is
in
awesome,
Michigan?
bro. Southwest.
Where's Dearborn?
See, every time. Everyone thinks I'm from Dearborn. Dearborn's up by Detroit. I'm Southwest. I'm like Podunk Farm Town.
That's
all the Arabs are into Dearborn. So
What's
every
the
time I
other-
say I'm from Michigan, everyone's like, "Oh, Dearborn."
Well, I just have to ask because I know the demographic in
Yep.
Dearborn.
That's
So-
up by Detroit's closer to.
So
Detroit.
how was that first year in America?
It was interesting,
Did you
man.
get picked on? Did you get made fun of?
So I was just talking to Mike Glover's podcast because he had some background in racism. He's Korean. He dealt with that, and he just asked me the same question. Honestly, man, I'm not saying.
Being so young, though, I wouldn't think it would be a huge.
So here's the thing. So one, I don't really look Arab. My name's weird, but people mistake me
True.
for Mexican or Italian, whatever. Two, maybe when I was young, I feel if it did happen, I was like one of 4 brown kids in the entire school. It never happened to me, man. I never got that vibe.
You mean America isn't systemically racist?
Allegedly, apparently. Everyone tells me they're racist, but when I was young, apparently we just turned into this huge racist country overnight, But it's a component of me maybe being oblivious, and two, it's also, I don't know. I mean, I don't know, people are going to be pissed off, but it's how you carry it too sometimes. I don't know. I never ran it. Everyone thinks, oh, Arab dude joining the Marine Corps. I was sitting in Marine Corps dental and boot camp getting my wisdom taken out. I don't know if you guys remember this, but Filika Island in Kuwait. Do y'all remember right before the invasion, there was a terrorist attack. And a Kuwaiti rolled up, I'm not sure it was a Kuwaiti, it was somebody rolled up and killed a couple of Marines on Filika Island while they were training. I'm sitting in dental while they're putting that on the screen. I'm like, oh shit, I'm gonna get my ass kicked, Boot camp, right to SOI, right to the invasion, 2 more subsequent tours. Even in the Marine Corps infantry, never got that, man. You'd think they'd call me Haji, my friends would. God forbid anybody else that didn't know me would call me as a joke,
There was so much, what's the word I'm looking for? Facetious, racism with each other. Because the cool thing about the Marine Corps and other branches is, in boot camp and in these units, everyone's thrust together. It's fucking prison. So, you're preconceived notions of I'm from small town Kansas where it's mostly white, and it was the first time I was thrown together with all these other races from big cities. I'm from small Kansas, and we got some homies from fucking LA and some New Yorker, Puerto Ricans, Bronx. We're all thrown together, but we all have the same desire to be a Marine. So that commonality already is we all signed up for this. So it's and you learn about these other foods and other cultures and religions and fucking Christmas holidays, and you just realize damn, we're all the fucking same.
Absolutely, man. There's that for me, it was just like that. It was hey man, we went through all this shit together. We went through boot camp, we went through SOI, we went through all this stuff.
Literally take a vote for you.
There's all that, right. There's I know this guy has done all the same shit that I have, and I have this respect for him, and he has the respect for me. We're brothers. But when we're still sitting around bored out of our goddamn minds, we got to fucking pick on each other somehow, you know what I'm saying? And that's where a lot of that shit comes out. And I don't know of anybody that I think I ever served with, and I don't care if you're black, white, Asian, Jewish, Muslim, whatever, that didn't get it, give it, and let it roll off our shoulders, and nobody ever took it in a negative or serious way.
And it was never said
harm in a hateful way. Absolutely.
It's shut up, white boy. I'm all right, man.
Yeah.
But God forbid someone outside your circle.
That's a whole.
You call him white boy, huh?
Everyone's thrown. That's the cool thing about Marines, especially in San Diego or wherever. You'll see a group, and this is how you can tell. Everyone's got high tights. They're young. They're 18 to 21, all thin, all in shape, dressed pretty nice because that's beat into us. But you'll have a black dude, a fucking Korean.
Country shit kickers.
Oh, shit kicker. There's always a country skinny fuck. It's 9 foot tall with a billion zits in his fucking belt.
The wallet's this long.
The fucking wallet.
They mount it.
Yeah. And then there was a guy like me that had a Nirvana shirt with thermal underwear underneath, with a puka necklace. You know what I'm saying? Walking around like I was so hard and tough, and I didn't know fucking shit. I still don't know shit, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's a group of fucking Marines, because you don't really see that in real life.
No, you're you don't see those guys that are all the different groups together, all the different ways they dress, and they're all hanging out
and
together.
they're bros.
Yeah.
And they're interlocked, fucking wedgies, getting drunk, chasing tail. I'm
and we'll take a bullet for you, hands down.
Hands down. Yep. And we still talk to all of our dudes all the time. So that is the cool thing about the Marine Corps. And the joke in the Marine Corps is there's no race in the Marine Corps. We're all different shades of green.
Dark green and
light green. That's what you hear in boot camp.
So and they don't say that anymore because it's PC. But people.
But I love it. There's different shades of green, but we're all Marines at the end of the day, and that was this brotherhood. I'm fucking tired of the PC culture. I really am. So, anyways, keep going.
So. Go through school and everything. What made you decide to join the Marine Corps?
Yeah, so because of the invasion, I don't know. I got a kick out of it. I wasn't traumatized. I'm sure there were other people around me.
I saw tanks. That was awesome. I want to see more tanks.
I saw dead bodies. No, my dad took me to this thing. Google this thing. It's called the Highway to Hell.
Exactly.
You guys know what I'm talking about.
For sure.
As an 8-year-old, when we came back, my dad's like, "Hey, Well, check out the highway now. I'm like,
I was
hell
like,
yeah.
shit, I'm assuming it's all pushed off the highway on the
Negative,
sides.
negative,
Are the
negative.
vehicles still there?
No, not now. This is years ago. This is when we just got back.
But quickly,
Yeah,
within that same realm.
Yeah,
A couple
but
of years, 3 years.
When we got this is after the invasion. The oil fires are still burning, and Dad loaded us up in the station wagon.
Like, we're going on a fucking vacation, guys, little trip.
Yeah, and it's like
Was
bodies,
that,
bro.
because I know the Gulf War started in 91.
Yeah,
When did the Iraq invade Kuwait?
So
Was that 89,
no,
90?
it was
No, that
90,
was within
1990. Then
What
desert.
they called the 100-hour war.
So
Dude, it
that
was
was the-
quick.
I know when we were there.
Before that though, there was Desert Shield.
Right.
So they
How-
invaded in 90. Desert Shield, we finally sent over there to stop in Saudi Arabia. Then Desert Storm was 90. I can't remember.
91.
January.
Whenever
I
that
think, of
started, it
91.
I
was
was in
100
fifth grade.
hours.
I was
later.
90.
It was January of 91 because I went to boot camp in
88? Back with Jesse Kohler?
Yeah.
Fucking old
July or May or whatever of 91. And I was like, ugh, my parents were kind of freaked out because I fucking had turned 18 right when I graduated high school.
Jesus,
and
he's
I
old.
didn't,
He's fucking old.
and I just went and fucking signed up, came home and told my mom, and she was upset. The Gulf War was still in kind of, it was at the end, you know, that they weren't in.
Were you a rower or an archer or like what?
Yeah.
You're hilarious. You're
Yeah,
hilarious.
artillery.
Yeah,
With
yeah.
bayonet.
Yeah. I was the guy that
Flute-
fucking.
flute boy in the
I
back.
carried the drums. I was on the drums.
Get out there, Patrick.
Yeah, and my mom, but yeah, it was January of 91, and I joined in like, whatever, like the summer of 91, and so that was still like, I had a guy in my boot camp class who had been in the army and had been to Desert fucking Storm, and like, he had been a 68 whiskey, which is like a medic in the army, and he was like, telling us stories like, oh yeah, we're standing there and we had some guy walk towards a helicopter and got the top of his head cut off and blah blah blah. Yeah, like
I think we've all heard those helicopter
yeah,
stories.
but so yeah, that stuff like January of 91 was when all that. So it was like sometime after that you guys went out there and checked out the highway,
Yeah,
which is
like a year later.
insanely famous. I think everybody knows about the highway to hell.
You're surprised. Yeah, no. When I mention that, most people don't know what I'm talking about.
Really?
So the highway to hell is when a huge group of Iraqi military armored vehicles, support vehicles, were on this one fucking highway, and it was
Trying to get out.
hundreds of vehicles, and I think it was A-10s, and I think it was
helicopters, and they just came in.
It was like Oprah. Like, you get a JDM, you get a JDM. Everything.
Yeah.
dude, but
So
the whole convoy, they stopped the lead and the rear, and they fucking murdered everyone.
Yeah, it was basically the Iraqis. The United States was like, fuck this. The U.S. and the coalition was like, fuck this. We're coming in and we're kicking you guys out of Kuwait. The entire Iraqi army was like, we're out of here. And there was one highway from Kuwait to Iraq, and they were all on it, armored vehicles, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of vehicles.
And personnel.
And personnel, probably thousands of people. And these dudes
Hit the
in
delete
helicopters, like, what you said, A-10s and freaking Cobras and everything,
lit them
just
up.
laid these dudes out.
And there's just famous fucking pictures of like just bodies and vehicles, and it's honestly being a dude of chaos. Like, it's pretty fucking cool.
It's pretty
Being a
epic.
kid, this
Yeah.
is wild.
You're
You wonder
like-
why I joined the Marine
Dad
Corps.
takes
You're like,
you
I
on
don't
a
know
class-
how it happened. you
Dad
know?
takes you on a class trip to the highway.
Literally,
to
I'm
hell.
two skulls, Dad.
Hey man,
Keep
look, dude, you laugh, man. So listen to this shit, man. This is why I learned about boots, man. In war, like sometimes, especially populated, you'll get into these in the invasion. This happened. Like, did y'all ever see shoes and boots everywhere?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
why are there always shoes and boots everywhere? Because when you get exploded, your feet, your legs literally fly out of your shoes, and there's always shoes everywhere. Sometimes there's still feet in those shoes, so that's
sure.
kind of gross, you know. But that's when I'm like, wow, there's shoes all over the road. I didn't make sense of that. Well, when you get blown up, your shoes are gone, you know. So that was 8 years old, so I, developed completely normal after that.
Never weird dreams after that.
So how much time did you spend there at the highway of death?
We just drove up. So here's
Did you
another.
get out of the vehicle?
No, we didn't get. I don't think we get
Man,
out.
I would have made my parents like, let me out and let me climb through this.
So
shit.
here's wild stuff. There was like 3 Kuwaiti soldiers to guard this thing. They didn't give a shit. They were like, go ahead, man. And there's three of them. And I remember this distinctly. They waved us in. One guy waved us in, and 2 guys were trying to flip over a car in this, like, the start of the highway. I remember this distinctly. They're trying to flip it over and whatever. I didn't think nothing of it. I just remember seeing as we're leaving, 2 days later, I don't know if it's the same dudes, but in the paper came out like, hey, 3 soldiers killed, blah, 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 messing with a car. I don't know if the same dudes, but someone had tipped a car over and moved a car, and it hit the munition and boom, hit a cluster bomb, or not a cluster, but something. And liquidated everything.
Unexploded ordnance,
Yeah.
UXO?
Yeah, that was
Wow.
3 days, and there was metric tons of UXO everywhere.
For sure.
There's probably still, buried.
I definitely would have died. I'm actually glad.
Holy shit,
Yeah.
that's
I would
insane.
have got out of the car and like climbed around.
It was cool.
My
It was
dog is
cool.
creepy.
So you're like, okay, I love battle, I love chaos. I'm now in the United States. I'm freaking. How old were you when you decided? Was this right after high school?
So I want to know
typical?
why. I'm gonna inject a piggyback on that. Like, what drew you to the Marine Corps opposed to the other branches? So obviously you were thinking about the military.
Yep.
Why the Marines?
So 2 factors came into that. One was from my childhood that I never even realized before. The first picture I ever saw of the Marine Corps, or really understanding, I have a lot of military in my family. My grandpa's in World War II and all that, but
Awesome.
just didn't really know enough about the Marines till the invasion of Kuwait. And if you look at the old pictures from the American embassy that got secured, who secured it? A bunch of force dudes. There were
Yep.
a bunch of force dudes, fast roped in, secured it. It's not like they get on a big gunfight or anything, but I just remember that image of them. I'm like, yup, that's cool. And then I went to military academy, and I was in the military academy in Michigan.
Is
and
this just during the high school?
yeah, this is like senior high school. I was a knucklehead. I was about to flunk. But in this academy, it wasn't like normal military academies because they kick the shit out of you. They would put their hands
He's
on
like,
you.
that's why I don't have to take
Yeah.
that.
So that's happening. And I remember getting to boot camp, and they're like, push up right now, jumping. I'm like, this is it?
Just got a chance.
You
Yeah.
can't punch me
I
in the
got
chest.
thrashed harder than this in high school.
They just take you in the shower and just like punch you in the face, But one of them were guys. It was Staff Sergeant Donlin. He was old. He got out of the Marine Corps. He was a forestry. He was a HAT. He was a drill instructor. He was a forest
Right
recon
now.
Marine.
You
No,
want a
thank
beer?
you. I'm good. Thank you. He was a forest
Thank
recon
you.
Marine. And
Who's this?
this is my cadre, my instructor.
What was his name, you remember?
Donaldson. Big, huge, black eye, bald head. Staff Sergeant Donaldson. I can't remember his first name, but the meanest son of a bitch I've ever met. It's like the quintessential Marine, the biggest asshole, biggest piece of crap. I hated this guy. All of a sudden, until one day, you know what I'm talking about. You didn't hate him, and then you're like, oh
Respect.
shit, I
Like,
see
you
what you're
like,
doing.
get this
here.
guy.
Yeah, it's like my other instructors. Like when you're young, you're like, oh, I like him. He's cool to me. He's cool. He's an asshole. When you realize he's the only one being cool to me, these guys are assholes. These guys
Yeah.
are setting me up for failure.
Yeah,
So like,
this dude's just hard.
yeah, this guy's
Right
a
from
hard.
the get-go.
Yeah, right off the get, from front soup to nuts. So that's what really locked it in, and I actually enlisted from that academy. Right
Wow.
in that academy. Yep.
And what year was that? You
It was
enlisted?
2002, beginning of 2002.
You were 18?
18, and 19, I think. 19. I just turned 19. Shipped out to boot
And
camp.
you went to MCRD?
MCRD. Yep.
Yeah, 'cause
Hollywood.
west of the Mississippi, you were in MCRD.
Michigan's actually weird. I didn't know this. Southwest Michigan, you can actually pick. I got to pick. They said you can go because it's, I don't know, close to the line, and you can go to Parrish Island, and of course I'm taking MCRD.
So the Marine Corps, and it still stands to this day, I think.
Yeah, it does. They're
Everything, if you enlist in the Marine Corps west of the Mississippi, everyone west, every city, state, you're going to San Diego, the Marine Corps Recruit Depot, San Diego. If you enlist east of the Mississippi is the vertical line,
Hoorah.
you're going to North Carolina, to Camp Lejeune.
no.
Battle the
Fucking
sand
Paris.
fleas.
Paris
Paris
Island, I'm
Island.
sorry.
That's what
Whatever.
happens when you let a Hollywood Marine
Lejeune, Paris,
have
it's
a
all-
discussion about where you go. You go to Paris Island,
I just hear about how
the
hard
hardest
it
of
is.
the Marines.
We're harder because we have gnats. That's why.
It's flat.
It's
fucking
flat.
Dead flat, dude. We've got fucking
Sand fleas or
mountains.
hills, bro. Pick.
I'd rather, I don't know, dude.
But
I hate
yeah,
I
no,
pick
so that
sand fleas all day.
he was close. Yeah, so you go to Paris Island if you're east of the Mississippi, west of the Mississippi. You go to MCRD in San Diego.
So, what did you want to be in the Marine Corps? So, like, you had an idea of the Marines. You thought every Marine fought like we all
you
did.
go to the recruiter and he's like, "I've got something for you."
I got lucky. Remember, I came out of, I enlisted in the academy. So Donaldson, the same guy, was also a recruiter.
Oh,
And
shit.
And before
So
I
he
get
hooked
on, before I get on the bus to MEPS, he's a, come here, knucklehead. He goes, if they say this, if they say this, if they say it, you just walk the fuck out. I'm like, really? He goes, yeah, just tell them to F off and walk out. And I get there, and they threw down open contracts. I passed the physical, and there was like 10 of us. Here you go. And I'm like, I got an 03 I want to be an infantryman.
Never go in open contract.
Yeah, this is very close after 9/11. That's obviously another. I was 10th grade. I watched it happen. That was obviously another motivating. So we all wanted to go to war, and I knew
I was
this.
23.
Yeah. And I knew this about the open contract. I'm like, nope. And so if you're in MEPS, you're cleared, so you can join anybody in the military. So I walked out and I walked in the Army. I'm like, hey, what do you got for me? I'm cleared. They're messing around with me. They're like, we'll give you ranger school, duty station, jump school, whatever you want. And then the gunny over there, he's knocking on the window. He's like, come here. And
that's funny.
All those people walked out. They all had their filled out open contracts. And he goes, here's your 03. I'm like, thanks, gunny. Appreciate it. So
holy shit, that's the first time I didn't know you could do
very
that.
lucky. I didn't know that.
You got lucky that you stayed that course and didn't cave, because it's so easy as a young guy that you're afraid. You just you think that guy that's taking care of you at that desk, he's got the absolute power.
Absolutely. And you don't know beyond that.
Case. You don't.
Yeah.
He's got a number.
You basically do what he's going to tell you. Like, there's no threes. Then you're like, okay. I just wanted to.
Okay.
There's no infantry during the time of war.
I'll be a cook. That's cool. Like, fuck you.
Don't worry. Once you get there, you can change it.
Yeah. I love that one too. Yeah, whatever.
So, you're now recruit Badu, and did they find out you were Kuwaiti born in boot camp? Like, how was your boot camp experience?
Again, I mean, boot camp experience, just like everybody. I mean,
sucked.
It just sucked. So that was one thing. In the academy, they just beat you, well, they do other stuff in boot camp. They don't do anything illegal, but they do horrible stuff. They won't get into that. Just sucks. I remember guys like, I actually should probably get into it. Should I get into it?
Whatever.
Did you have to drop names? But I'm all about stories.
Okay, cool.
You have to drop names.
So this is a boot camp story. You guys all know this, but it's foul, and just so you know.
I love foul stories.
Okay, so
we're all about foul stories.
So do they. You sick fucks.
This didn't happen to my boot camp. This wasn't my Marine Corps. This is Filipino Marine Corps. So everyone disregard. We had gone. It was Thanksgiving. It was Thanksgiving, and we were having turkey, mashed potatoes, whatever, gravy. So we're all happy, little nasty recruits shoving our faces. And the instructor, or the drill instructor, is like, hey, it's Thanksgiving, and go and hook him up, chow hall. Give him another serving. And we're like, seconds? Really? And so we all get in line, and we're eating turkey and mashed potatoes. And we get back. He's like, yeah, it was good. All that salty gravy. We gotta hydrate. Get some canteens out. So
God.
Chugging 4 canteens after two servings. All right, same go. And so about 30 seconds later, 80 dudes are puking. Everyone's just puking into the middle. You're just trying to stand at attention to puke. And so that's bad enough. That's bad enough. So people are probably gagging right now. He's like, all right, guess what we got to do now is clean it all up. And we do, what's it called?
Scrub bush?
No, deck towel, man.
Oh yeah, but
deck towel. You hold the towel on the ground
and you
stick
run,
your ass
stand
and you
up.
run.
Yep.
And it was layer of puke, just like it's over your arms.
It was the same thing. It was a towel. We would get out. They'd be like, scrub brush, fucking blah blah deck,
That's
whatever.
Because you would do it in waves.
Yep. Start the race. They did make a race.
They'd be like,
get it wet. Then it was the scrubbers, and then it
there'd
was
be like 4 people, and you're just like running.
And your silkies.
Pushing this fucking.
So the stuff was so chunky that we had to have us pushing with the towel, and the other guy with the thing picking the chunky stuff.
Join the Marines this time.
When you need to buck shit up or just wake up, get Black Rifle.
Like
we didn't promise you.
They said it was gonna be fun.
Yeah, we didn't promise you a rose garden.
You think you're gonna go and like just fucking be a recon dude, and they're gonna teach you how to fucking slit throats like silent fucking video.
No, you're cleaning up your own vomit.
They just make you hate everything so much.
If you hate yourself,
Yeah.
You question why you even joined. You question your own existence.
And then they let you off the leash when they break you. When the enemy shows up, and we go rabid. And then they put us back, and then they tase you, and they don't feed you.
That's true.
So you graduate boot camp. You go off to, what was your first unit?
LAR, first LAR.
Oh shit! Really?
Yeah.
What year was that?
This is right in. So I got
02?
Yeah, right before the
That was where was first?
First year I was Flores. Flores.
That's where I was at.
With Force? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, first rated battalion.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Did you know Medici, Rich Creek?
No, doesn't ring a bell.
You know Eddie Wright? You know Bo Mattiota? We need to unfuck that.
What the fuck is with the sign today? We've never had this issue.
So you were an 0311, attached to first LER.
Yep.
How the fuck does that happen?
So what was your position in your first team?
Is that a typical thing for 0311s
Yes,
to go to
100%.
LAR?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
So when I got an SOI, and people don't know this, I didn't even know what LAR is. My instructors didn't even know it. They just said, all the B's and A's, hey, you're all going to first. Everyone was like 3.5, 1.5. And we're like, what is LAR? And they're like, I don't know, but you don't have to hump anymore.
So
See, that's bullshit.
Yeah, that was
that
complete
motherfucker
bullshit.
lied to
Every
you.
friend, yeah.
So in the Marine Corps, LER is light armored reconnaissance, and they're called LAVs, not fucking labs. I've gotten to this goddamn argument.
We've had that conversation before.
Not labs, LAVs, light armored.
Apparently, the
vehicles.
Canadians call them labs.
We're pretty much like
We're not
recon in the Marine Corps, right?
Yeah. We all wear black hoodies.
And
We
I
have
also-
recon in our name.
And I also got into an argument with a LAV dude, an LAR guy about that too. So we're the fucking same, bro. I'm like, I'm gonna throw a punch you,
Same,
dude.
bro.
Guys, males and egos, man, I guess in our way. So he was an LAV dude. So their job is centered around a vehicle that's got a 25 millimeter cannon,
Bushmaster.
Bushmaster, kick-ass thermals. I didn't know how cool they were
Yeah.
until I was in Iraq and got a look through one. I was like, no wonder they saved my ass so many times. So you show up, first LAR, like what is your first position? How is it structured in a LAV team?
That's an
squad?
0311 with.
So no, they're all 0311s. That's
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
Mine's
we're
mechanics
in the
and
back.
mine's-
We're 0311s in the back. They're 0313s in the front. Those are LAV crewmen.
Do
So
they still go to SOI?
Yes, they have to go to SOI.
They go to
first.
SOI, so they're still
Yep.
infantrymen.
School of Infantry.
Then they go to the LAV school to learn about the mechanics of the vehicle,
Yeah.
how to operate.
Wow.
Still
Interesting.
So they're grunts,
Yeah,
dude,
they're grunts.
with a fucking machine gun on wheels, dude. Like it's.
That chain
We
gun-
talked a lot of shit about it while we were in, but in hindsight, and especially during the war, dude, LAV's got some. LAR fucking killed bodies, man. Like they got it. Dude.
They would shoot at us one time. We would roll into AO. We never really had these big crazy fights in LAR because we're kind of gypsies. They'd be like, go here, go there, go there.
Yeah.
And we'd show up, they'd shoot at us one time. That thing's effective out to 300. We do death blossom on everyone and go pick up the body parts. And they're like, okay, these guys, we're just going to IED and mortar them. No one shoot at these guys, because the thing could see in the middle of the night 3,000.
Dude, I used to talk shit.
3,000 meters is
I
reach out and touch
It's
you.
up there.
It's
dude.
way out there, dude.
And that shit's. And this was before like the Crow system.
First round shot, first round hits, way up.
Fuck.
Dude, and the thermals were tits, and this was an 03. What they have now is fucking retarded.
And it's shooting a hand grenade. It's not a solid chunk. It's a hand grenade that it's flying at
It's like a
3,000
rocket
feet. Yeah.
That's
It's like
insane.
a 40 mic,
Yeah.
but it's bigger
And faster.
That's awesome.
And in Iraq in the beginning, they were using IEDs against us. They made them for Humvees. So I'll kiss an LAV. We same thing. We used to talk crap till
Just the V hole.
the hull, and they weren't big enough to breach our hulls. So they eventually did. They figured it out.
For sure,
but
quickly too. Yeah.
that was a couple months where we.
So LAR, when I was at First Recon in 2003 for the invasion, the whole Generation Kill platoon, when we got to Baghdad, we stayed in Baghdad for a little bit, but then we got orders to push north to Baqaba. And this was the last remnants of the Ba'ath Party, which sounds very Star Wars-ish. The Ba'ath Party. I think it was BA''TH.
Yeah.
So
Ba'ath.
there was this stronghold of the Ba'ath Party up in Baqaba, which is northeast of Baghdad. So on the way up, we luckily had an attachment of just 2 vehicles of 2 LAVs. And I was just kind of like, whatever, these guys. But dude, we would have been fucked up because the whole route to Baqaba was quite different than my entire route from Kuwait to Baghdad. Like they were fucking set in. Like this route, these were the loyalists to Saddam like a motherfucker. Like this was the last remnants of what Saddam's army was. And dude, it was fucking hot. We had Cobras. They were fucking... Dude, I remember this fucking bus and LAVs and fucking Cobras rolled in before us. I think they were ahead by like a couple kilometer. They were clearing the path for our Humvees. Like we had Jeeps, dude. There were no armor. We joked we were NAR, no armored reconnaissance. That was our joke. It was first NAR. We had sandbags. I had Vietnam era flak jackets stuffed underneath my fucking
Useless.
The
useless.
Kevlar blankets.
Like Rudy Reyes, there's a famous picture of Rudy Reyes in a Humvee, and there's a bullet hole right next to his head. Like, dude, it was. I don't know how the fuck we lived through it. So, dude, I remember this like it's cool. Like, there's burning carnage. I'm driving my vehicle, and I don't know what vehicle I was. during, it was so long ago, man, so many deployments ago, but I remember seeing.
It all starts to meld into one.
It does, but there were fucking bodies everywhere. There was bad dudes, RPGs, wearing brown man jammies all over the fucking place. But there was this one bus. I laugh. It's carnage pure. There was this bus of people off to the right, and I think it was filled with bad guys.
Yeah, it was bad guys.
Bad guys. I'm not sure, but the back end of it was blown off. The driver was still alive. The whole inside of the windshield was all blood, but he had the windshield wiper blades. His whole face was covered in blood, and he was wiping the glass. And he like looked over at me, and I was just like, and I took a picture. But the whole back of the vehicle, it was like this fucking bus was shitting humans. The whole back was just literally intestines and blood coming out the back, because the whole back of the fucking, it was gone. So from like the tire and like 5 feet behind, it was wide open. There was no glass, there was no metal. It was just seats and blood and like just a pile of guts, and that like a pile of bodies, dude. It was stacked with like 40 people in there. And I think a hellfire, or I think fucking LAVs, I don't know what blew this fucking thing up, but out of all of like the 100+ bodies out there, there was one dude, it was the driver. And I got a picture of him. And then fucking I developed at Walmart, and I like paid the dude, like, dude, can you develop these? Like,
Don't look at him.
Don't look at him.
Yeah.
It was like some high school kid.
You're
with,
gonna
like,
not, you won't sleep for a month.
Yeah.
it was like some high school kid that was wearing all black and had like a Marilyn Manson shirt. He's like, cool, bro. And he was like, had all these like piercings like I used to have too.
Yeah.
And
You go back and he's got like a collared shirt on. He's like, I don't.
yeah, dude, he was
Shaking.
like, no, he was like, oh, cool pics, and I lost all of them. But anyways,
A lot of the guys in the invasion talk about that bus. There were different news, because think about it: how many Marines, how many people rolled past that bus? You know, that basically a whole task force, or RTCT.
you've heard this before?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. And the way I heard it was LAR that did that damage.
Okay.
They were up there in the front, and allegedly the story is Fedine or whoever. Someone found a bus and they said, "Get on the bus, we're gonna go fight Americans." And they turned the corner and there was an LAV, and they were like, "Winner, chicken dinner." You know,
dude, it was gnarly. There was people everywhere, and they escorted us on the way back too. And that was the first time I was like, that's why I'm telling the story for LAR. It's like, damn, we needed you guys.
Yeah.
Like, we would have been fucking wiped out, or just severely hurt for sure.
And then fast forward, like you see those cool guy videos, you see Delta Force, and like so those
Strikers.
Delta Force guys in
Rocket
Strikers.
Strikers,
After they figured out, like, screw a Humvee, man.
Yep.
I remember we did a mission with Force, and they needed a Terp, and they didn't have one. I'm all excited. I'm like, hell yeah, I'll go with Force. I'm pretty much the same thing, you know. And this is OAF3, bro, OAF3, okay. And we're gonna go check this, looking for mortar tubes or whatever. And they're like, yeah,
This
hop
is
in
like
the trunk.
04, huh?
No, this is 05, 06.
05,
This is
06.
OAF3.
Okay.
Yeah. And it was cold out. And we roll up, they're like, yeah, hop in the trunk. And they got a Humvee with 4 chairs facing outboard. That's it. That's all. No, not even the zipper door.
That's what we had.
Yeah, and they hop
literally
in.
no armor.
Yeah.
Or the ones with the bench seats. In the
Yeah.
back? Yeah.
I'm like, hey, sir, do I have to go? And he's like, yeah, get your ass. I'm like, shit, man, I'm out here. Because it was nothing but IEDs. I'm like, we're dead, man. But those guys are smart. They move quick, you know.
We're dead, man. We're dead.
We had 2 TTPs. It was fucking haul ass or drive slow. And during my deployment, my second deployment to Iraq, it was slow. We drove 15 to 20 miles an hour.
Oh shit! Really?
And it was all command detonated. It was all wire detonated. And thanks to Daniel Garego, my platoon sergeant in that whole platoon, all my boys, dude, all the gunners were fucking spot on, dude. And this was right when IEDs started to become a thing. 03, there were no IEDs.
Yep.
Maybe a couple, but they were used to mines, and it was not a lot, but it was mainly RPGs. But in 6 months, that war changed. IEDs were fucking
EFPs.
Iranians.
Yep.
Iranians, like, fucking infiltrated fucking Iraq and supported the insurgency against Americans. So they were testing out a bunch of cool shit, and it fucking worked. But that's when the war changed.
Yes, it did.
So IEDs are no fucking joke, dude.
Good times. I remember seeing the Iranian ones, EFPs, electronically formed penetrator, and it's like some propaganda video. And this guy was like in a room like this, and the whole floor is covered with EFPs ready to go, and he's just spray painting them. It's probably 60 EFPs. You know, one EFP can kill an MRAP. If you go Google MRAP, an EFP can cut through that thing like butter. And they had a whole warehouse, and he's just
So
what
an
EFP does, it's shaped like a dinner plate with a nipple on the back in a way. It's concave, much like an RPG.
It's a copper, basically a copper plate.
Yep.
There's the explosive form penetrator, and so basically that explosive goes off, and that copper molds around that explosive. It almost turns into superheated
Supersonic.
point and will punch through pretty much any armor.
In a very small hole.
Yep.
The thing is rocketing so fast that it's literally sucking people through the other hole. It moves through the vehicle so hot and so fast. I'm talking supersonic, excuse me, that it just wrecks a vehicle. It's instantaneous. It's not like, I'll use the analogy like TNT, like it pushes. This thing is a cutter. It's
and the only thing that really could hold up to it was tanks, because those guys had that fucking reactive armor which would push it off. But any kind of LAVs, the Humvees, MRAPs, anything like that, it was just cannon fodder for EFPs, and it just became a huge issue at the time. And yeah, like Jason had mentioned, like the Iranians from the Revolutionary Guard, these guys were smuggling these things and rat lines from Iran into Iraq, and it was a huge issue.
We all talk a lot of shit against, our adversaries overseas, but they're still human beings, and human beings are very, we adapt really quick. So our enemy, much like every other war on Earth throughout time, they adapt very quickly, and they did. They would put these EFPs, these dinner plates, in walls, like on a fucking road, and then put brick over it and paint it, put some dirt on it. You would not know it's there. And a lot of them have lasers across the road. So everyone that lived in the area knew not to fucking go down that road. But here we are, dumb Americans coming through the fucking, the street, and they hit it, dude, and it's a perfect shot on the vehicle. So there was some times like those, like, pretty impressive, man.
Yep.
Fuck those guys, but Jesus.
You mentioned, you talk about Jason, like I tell my guys, it's like, yeah, you MF the enemy, the bad guy, you do that, that's part of it, but it's like, I remember, like OF2 getting into these situations and gunfights and IEDs, and it's like, man, these guys still keep coming. It's like, and guys would get too cocky and be like, bro, if you get into some shit, what do you do? Well, call QRF. Well, okay, what's QRF? Well, that's a platoon full of pissed off Marines with toes and, CAG, whatever. What else? What if that fails? Oh, we got air, we got fixed wing. It's like, what does he have?
Yeah.
He got sandals and his thumb up in his ass.
Jihad to get the fucking Americans out.
Yeah. So I'm not, praising that person. That takes a lot of balls, man. Like, you're going to do that? You're going to go duke it out with no air? That's real different, bro.
Fucking first world America.
Yeah.
That's
all you got, and all you have is your rifle. They don't have armor. They don't have any of that
They
stuff.
don't have the training like we have.
A couple magazines and a bottle of water, still pieces of shit, but it's like, do not disrespect them and think that they, that's a little bit big.
Especially the Afghans.
Yeah.
So you go through your time in LAR, you do that, you get back to your deployment. What happens when you get back to the States?
Yeah.
So you got your first combat deployment under your freaking belt, and
not much. We got back, we were like, good job, guys, you saved America. Don't unpack your shit. And we went right back down, 5-6 months later?
Really?
Yeah.
Again,
like 6 months later, we were
another
back.
deployment with LAR.
LAR.
And what was the time frame with that one?
That changed, like Jason said, man, that whole war changed. It turned into a, shooting, moving insurgency with heavy IEDs and no troop formations. And this is our initial shock of, okay, what do we do? Okay, the Iraqis are happy, right? We're good. We're hugging me people in Baghdad, and you go back and everyone's trying to kill you, and you're like, what the fuck just happened, man? I thought we were good. I thought
we were good for a short time.
Yeah, and then it just, so that's where I really got into it. OF2 was my bad tour. And the invasion was kind of nuts.
So you did the invasion?
And so the invasion, I landed when LAR.
You were only in for like a year, so you were fresh.
So I'll tell you what happened. So it was moving so fast. We came out of boot camp, School of Infantry. Normally, what happens at your School of Infantry, you go to your unit and then you
do
train.
some training for 6 months.
They stuck us in Margarita because everyone had already flown forward.
Very familiar with Margarita. It's where first recon was at.
There you go. So movement where Division Schools was.
Yep,
they put sea wire around it and locked us in those.
On that big fucking tarmac.
Yeah.
Big,
your family could come see you, but they had to stay on the far side of the sea wire. And
did they have you in tents there?
No, in the
on the parade deck.
Yeah, on the parade deck, and then you would call the movement company, and then you'd fly to Kuwait, and I had to catch up with LAR. So the invasion began, and then basically 6 privates and the staff sergeant had to thumb a ride
because you were the boots.
Yeah, the boots.
So as a boot, your first
is thumbing my ride, and like literally we landed in
to go to combat,
and we were like a 46 landed, and we're like, hey, we got to get to Tikrit, and the sheriff was like, go ask that pilot. I'm fresh. I'm like, huh? What? And I run up, and we're like, hey, we need to go to. He's like, get your shit back in, And that's how we got to finally met up with LAR in Tikrit when that shit was popping off. So that was my intro to it, and then all of OF2 for that in Al Qaim out west. You know,
Yeah.
creepy areas.
Many
out
stories about Al Qaim.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a land that the Marine Corps forgot out there. The edge of the empire out there is right on the
Super
Syrian
desert, right?
Deserty, yeah, desert, and it's right on the Syrian border. So we had a lot of not only enemy activity but smuggling, foreign fighters, just weird,
my
weird
buddy
shit.
Steve Fisher was with 1-1. I think First Marines were out there with you guys too.
Mhm. Yep. So remember when OF2? Remember when Dunham jumped on the grenade?
I do.
That was they were south of the river, and we were all in the same fob Al Qaim or fob Tiger. It was them and us, and we would patrol. We had north of the river and they had south, and it went over the radio that day like, hey, you know, corporal, you know, casualty KIA to enemy hand grenade, and that's all we thought about it. And then we hear the craziness that we jumped on. It was like, holy shit! So that region, that's where we were.
And that guy, he never got the Medal of Honor or anything.
He did.
Did he?
I'm sure he did.
I think he did. I don't know.
I don't know. That's a good question.
I'm not one of those military guys that like memorizes all this shit.
No, but I thought
Yeah.
there was a big deal with that.
I just assumed it'd be a shoot.
There was an issue with it. I don't remember.
Yeah.
We'll look into it.
Um,
So you did that deployment.
That was wild, man. OF2 was wild, and we were a lot of different agencies involved on the western side
Right.
and Qaim.
Right.
There was some just weird shit happening and just strange, another whole strange interaction, like soft guys, you guys, man. Like we're in the middle of the desert on this border, and like we just hear, and like if you've been in Al Qaim, it's nothing for miles, you know. And we see four wheelers like rooster tail. And this black guy jumps off, and we're like, "What's up, man?" And he's like, "Hey, I'm Bob. This is Bill. You know, we're gonna be here for a while." And we're like, "All right, Bill,
What,
get
Bob,
on back. Grab your shit."
That could be
Dude,
one of so many
yeah.
different agencies.
Anything, you know.
Yeah.
And it's like
Orange,
yeah.
NSA, agency.
Yeah. What do you do? I'm a defense attaché. Okay.
Is that what he said?
Yeah. Well, no, another guy said that. I'm like, okay, bro.
When they're jacked, they got tattoos. You're like,
yeah.
Yeah.
you're something.
Yeah. I'm State Department.
You're
Yeah.
something.
Special. You're special.
This dude had cut
like,
here,
you don't-
on his
Yeah.
neck. I'm
Did
State
he?
Department. It's like,
Did he have cut
You
hair?
don't work for Kawasaki.
yeah. So
I had a buddy I served with that had destroyed everything on his neck. Dude.
yeah, I've seen that. This guy, I'm just making a joke, but yeah, it was some weirdness with the translating, and it was interesting because I got blown up, and I got blown up a few times, but this one rocked me pretty good. They medevaced me to Baghdad, and they sent me back. They're like, you can go back with the unit. You don't got to go home, but
Like ID?
IED, yeah,
In the LAR?
yeah, and
On
then
the LAV?
Yep. And it wasn't even the bomb that hurt me. It was actually
Concussion?
it was a double stack mine, and it blew out so much earth. It's a 28-ton vehicle,
Oh,
so 28
boom,
tons
drop.
5 feet, and I lawn darted out of that thing right into an ammo can, and
Well,
yeah,
you got ejected out of the vehicle?
no, like here's the turret with an ammo can, and I went wham, wham, right back in my hole.
Did it hit the helmet or the face?
Yeah, I hit the helmet and gashed my Kevlar, put a cut in my Kevlar.
Wow.
So my brain would have been scrambled egg, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Split.
Yeah, we had a Shawani, an Iraqi SF guy. He had a deep tissue wound, so I wasn't hurt enough to leave. But they're like, you can't get another one. They're like, you can't leave the fob. If you get another one, you're dead. You know. So I was like, well, I'm a Terp. I can help with a detention center. So it's interesting because I knew these players out in town. We were fucking with them already, and so they'd snatch them up and bring them to the detention center. They told them I died. When they blew me up, when they blew our vehicle up, everyone knew Yusuf in that town, in the area. Everyone knew me. They're like, yeah, I died, man. And everyone's like, oh my God, no. And they're like, yeah, I fucking died, man. It's crazy. So they bring him, fast forward 2 months, and they bring a guy in the detention center. I'm like, what's up, bro? And they're like, they lose their shit, so.
So where was the detention center?
In Qaim, yep. And it was just
Who was running? Was the
mostly
Marine Corps or the Army running that? Or
Yeah.
somebody? Yeah.
Sure.
Somebody running that?
Yeah, sure. It was just a like a temporary one.
Yeah.
Everyone got to Abu Ghraib,
I was there for Ghraib. We were running missions out of Ghraib
Yeah?
to attack the mortarmen that were attacking Ghraib.
Were you there when it they tried to overrun it and all
I
that?
was there.
Got
I was
blown
there.
up like.
Dude, we
escape.
know all the. I don't know if you know Ralph Lopez. There's a story I heard about that where an arm was hanging out and they kept shooting at it and they're like, he's still trying to breach, and they're lighting it up and they're like, oh, never mind, it's just the arm. The guy was trying to breach and some.
Yeah, we spent the night there for like a week, dude. We'd run ops out of there. And it was right, I'm talking a week or two after the fucking photos came out.
No shit, yeah.
Abu Ghraib,
So that was rock and roll.
there was Army, I believe. We'll bash on the Army right now. A bunch of Army
Whoop.
fucking MPs or whoever that was the detention center that all the Iraqi that we throughout the country, the bad guys that we would detain, we'd send them here if we thought they were of relevance to this detention center, and these fucking idiot. And
They were,
yes,
I don't think they were active duty.
They were
right?
reserve,
Were they-
National Guard,
yeah,
reserve, no
reserve.
training. Like,
Oh really?
yeah,
So
yeah,
like, dude,
no-
these
And I think that's what kind of
Yeah.
brought some of that about.
this one incident elevated detention times 10 towards Americans.
How many Americans you think that got killed over that shit?
Too many.
Yeah.
One's enough, but
Yeah.
hundreds
Yeah.
throughout the country. So these dumb fucks would get all these, like, we as Americans try to live with some kind of, you know, the Geneva Conventions, try to treat them. I did. Every dude I detained, like, I would talk to him like we're talking now. Like, we got you. And in fact, I would ask them questions about the whole war. It's a whole other story. But they got all these Iraqis, put them butt naked, and stacked them in bodies and put them all these weird positions, would take selfies. They probably even created the
Scaring them
selfie.
with dogs and like,
Dude,
it was
like
endless.
really mentally like abuse these fucking dudes. And I mean, they're caught, they're in prison, they're detained, they're fucking there, dude.
You're not doing anything. You're
So
not.
these dumb fucks like literally power play, took advantage of these guys, and then the pictures got out, and then the Iraqi population, for good reason, fucking detonated.
Yep.
And then that place started getting attacked. So like all focus kind of turned on that prison from all the bad guys, and that's what I was tasked to attack, to find because the enemy at that point were shooting mortars out of the back of open back trucks,
Yep.
which was smart because they would shoot then instantaneously drive away, and then our anti-artillery devices would instantly shoot right where the poo site, point of origin. But they'd be gone already because they would fucking shoot, do their azimuth. Okay, we know the prison's fucking 2 miles that way. They'd launch, and they'd take off. And we caught a couple of those guys. I mean, I wouldn't say caught, but I remember under nods, like watching one right in front of us drive by. We're like, ah. But
So-
crazy fucking time.
Yeah. Well,
After all you got. So how long were you in the Marine Corps total?
10 years total.
10 years?
Total, yeah. But it was
So
some
how many
broken time.
deployments total?
3 deployments.
3 deployments. So
OF1, OF3.
OF2, OF3. So OF, like the invasion.
You did all 3.
Yeah, and then right after that, like 04, 05, came back for that, and then the third one was 05, 06, which turned into like actually being about 8 months long and deploy. I had more time in Iraq than, you know, at that generation, all of us had more time in Iraq than we had in the Marine Corps, in
In the States.
stateside, you know. And then I got out 2006 and was out in the civilian world for about a year and a half doing security out in Irvine, and my wife calls me at work one day and she's like freaking out on the phone. She's like, the Marine Corps sent you something. There's a SEAL, you need to come home. She's like freaking out. And she's been with me all these deployments. So she knows what's up. And I'm like, yeah, it's a muster sheet. Chill out. Don't worry about it. It's a muster sheet. Throw it away. And And I'm
Fuck those guys.
laughing with my boss. He's a retired Marine. And she's like, we're all having a laugh. She's like, oh, I feel stupid. And I'm like, no big deal. Fast forward 2 months later, she's like, they sent you something in the mail. She's yelling at me at work. She's like, you need to come home. There's a big package in here. It's official, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, babe, come on, chill out. She goes, no, this was different.
Chill, honey,
She's like,
chill.
chill, babe. And she's like, there's a fucking plane ticket in it. And I'm like,
whoa.
what's that? And she's like, there is a boarding pass and a paper that is stamped original orders on it.
That's scary.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay. And I'm like, hey, boss, I got to go home. No shit, man. Marine Corps stuck a FedEx in my door with orders. You've been involuntarily recalled back into the Marine Corps. So for your listeners,
How was that experience?
That's gotta be
Did your heart?
trippy as hell.
Would you get excited?
I didn't believe it.
Did a part of you kind of like?
So first thing, I didn't believe it. I thought it was a joke. Second thing, my heart skipped. I'm like, hell yeah, let's do this. I'm going back for a fourth one, man. Civilian life sucked, man. I was gonna, I was gonna go get some, you know. I was already signed up for another tour, so I was excited about that. And the money's great, you know, in deployment, you know. So I was all about it. But yeah, that was an interesting time. But yeah, no shit, they recalled a whole bunch of us.
So from that point, how long before you were back in wearing camis?
Shit, not long after that. So they recalled us. We fly to Missouri like 3 days later, too. I had like from when I got that stuck in my you had to be
3 days?
You had to be in Missouri 3 days later. I had some Lance Corporal call me, some kid from Missouri. He's like, Corporal, I just want to make sure you did see the guy. And I'm like, chill the fuck out, I'm coming. He was like trying to like, you know, get crazy with me. I'm like, you're good. They fly us
Where at Missouri?
Kansas City.
I'd like to see how many people showed up to that and then suddenly have back problems and have all
You're
these,
gonna laugh
have
at
all
the
these
pro-
fucking issues
No.
and they can't. Pussies.
So there are 300 of
I
us.
probably wouldn't do.
Yeah,
I mean, I wouldn't.
There's 300 of us, right? Who do they pick? A mix of MOSs? Hey, let's get some no, infantrymen.
All 03s?
Oh, and our generation from 02 to 06. So
For sure.
3
Some
tours
fucked
every
up dudes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
guys with
With
hardcore
experience.
with experience, with hardcore.
That's what they want.
Yeah. Well, not initially. We all show up. We're all like, and I'm pretty sure probably 30% of the people are all high on some type of drug. We're just like at this
Nasty
thing,
civilians now.
nasty civilians, and we're all laughing. And they give us a check-in sheet and had all these boxes in it. Hey, you're gonna do HIV, admin, whatever. And the second box is
Your analysis.
box 2A. They're like, everyone look at top box 2A, and we're like, all right. And they're like, just go ahead, cross that one out. We don't want to know. And we're like, what? They're like, if you're doing it, stop. We don't want to know. Come to find out, the class before this, they had to
Drop
DQ,
everyone.
yeah, because everyone pissed through a cup,
Holy shit.
They're just like, don't do it. So from that
We
date,
don't care. Fuck you.
from that date, I was back in Cammy's. Shit, that was 2007. I was back. I had my interview at the unit at School of Infantry in December 2007. So you're talking about 3-4 months later. I started January 2008 at the unit at School of Infantry, Combat Hunter, or ISK. I was on my way to a combat tour until my buddy called me and said, "Hey, we're standing up this new unit that teaches whiz-bang behavior profiling." And this is a 4th tour, and my wife was like, "Gee, sure." I thought we were kind of over that in our life,
Yeah.
So this was right there. I was living in Huntington, so I'm like, shit, that's right there. So I became an SOI instructor, and then that's what led into the combat hunter.
So you became just a normal SOI instructor?
No. Can I take this real quick? We break this.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. No, all good.
I'm holding it.
Get cool swag and more only at the Savage Store.
All right, guys. Hey, thanks for watching Savage Actual. Thanks for watching this episode. Thanks to Mr. Badu for coming out and spending some time with us. Hope you guys learned something. Make sure you guys give Yusuf a follow on Instagram. Check out his company. He's doing amazing things, and it's definitely worth a look, 100%.
Yeah. Speaking of that, not to cut you off, what is your Instagram?
Yeah, so my Instagram is Yusuf Badu _ Emergence. Not many Yusufs out there,
How you spell Badou?
Badou.
We will, on each episode, we'll have a link to your stuff on there, absolutely.
And it's emergence.com.
Yeah, I would emergencedisrupt.com. But the easiest thing to do is just go to my Emergence Instagram, the link tree in bio. Just go in there, and there's all the information you'll need for all the stuff we talked about, my classes, my online training, or just free information, actually. I'm just singing this stuff from the rooftop. So just go to the Instagram, click on the link tree there, you'll see all access to all the behavioral training we're doing.
We will have links to your Instagram on the bottom of this video. Hey, thanks for watching, guys. Make sure you subscribe to Savage Actual, subscribe to Emergence, and make sure you guys come back for the next episode. Thanks for watching.
Real quick. We got to show what this dude's wearing. Are these Jordans?
Yeah, they're Jordans. Yeah,
Look at
they're
these.
real.
Can you show these guys your Jordans?
You haven't been looking at them the entire
I have.
time? I thought the video camera got it.
I wanted to show off his fucking Jordans.
I wore
Get
these
up on
for
the
the
couch.
camera, damn
Get
it.
up on the couch.
Look at these dudes' fucking kicks.
You know how times I polish these, I'm
Put
gonna
'em
kill
on.
myself.
These badass fucking shoes.
Yeah. White. 3rd time I've ever worn them.
That's it?
For the show, huh?
There you go.
Those are sick shoes, man.
These are my Sunday specials, man. I'm gonna catch so much shit for this one.
All right. Hey, thanks for watching.
Thanks, guys. See you soon.